morning, and I welcome you all to the 11th day of the 97th Annual Conference of the Music Academy, Madras. This morning, we have Bharat Raj of the first year of the Advanced School of Carnatic Music, and he will be singing Bhuvinida Surane of Tyagaraja in Sri Ranjani Raga.
Bhuvinida Surane perasache Bhuvinida Surane perasache Bhuvinida Surane perasache Bungulatitina Buddha Manokhara Bhuvinita Sudane perasache Bungulatitina Buddha Manokhara Bhuvinita Sudane perasache Bungulatitina Buddha Manokhara Bhuvinida Sudane perasache Bungulatitina Buddha Manokhara. Avivekama Navula Kori Kori Avivekama Navula Kori Kori Avivekama Navula Kori Kori Avivekama Navula Kori Kori Adadro Vadro Kidina Brovave Adadro Vadro Kidina Brovave Bhuvinida Sudane perasache Bungulatitina Buddha Manokhara. Chala Saukyamu Kashtamu Nino Chala Saukyamu Kashtamu Nino Jali Jandidina Sarivarilo Chala Saukyamu Kashtamu Nino Jali Jandidina Sarivarilo Pala Munchina Nita Munchina Pala Munchina Nita Munchina Pala Munchina Nita Munchina Pala Munchina Nita Munchina Ni Padamule Gadi Ramani Padamule Gadi Ramani Padamule Gadi Tyagarajanuta Padamule Gadi Tyagarajanuta Bhuvinida Sudane perasache Bungulatitina Buddha Manokhara.
Thank you. This morning, the first lecture demonstration is on the compositions of the Haridasi Amba and it will be presented by Dr. T.S. Sathyavati, who began her music training under T.S. Vasanta Madhavi and later learned from Sangeeta Kalanidhi R.K. Srikantan, besides undergoing training in musicology under B.V.K. Shastri and being mentored by Bangalore K. Venkatram. a PhD in Sanskrit from the Bangalore University. Dr. Sathyavati has combined her knowledge of Sanskrit and music and translated several ancient works into English, making them available for scholars and researchers. She also pursues an active concert career besides composing music, teaching the art to several students, and being on the board of academic institutions. Dr. Sathyavati received the Musicologist Award from the Music Academy in 2017. I request her to please introduce the students who are going to perform. And over to you, 45 minutes from now. Thank you.
योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरः स्वधाम्ना अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यम्.
Just a moment, if you'll excuse me for a minute. I forgot to welcome Sangeeta Kalanidhi, Thiruvarur Sri Bhaktavatsalam. My apologies.
Namasadase, Namasadasas My very, very humble pranams to every Rasagnya here. On behalf of my students, Vidushis, Ashwini Satish, Srimati Ashwini Satish, and Vidushi Lavanya K. I offer my humble pranams to everyone here and seek your blessings. And I am ever beholden to the Academy for providing me this wonderful opportunity to introduce one of the brightest stars in the firmament of Dasa Sahitya, Haridasa Sahitya, that is Amba Bai. Amba Bai is very special in several ways. She has several unique contributions to make. As we all know, Haridasa Sahitya itself has enriched our culture and arts to a very great extent. And among them, she occupies a very special place. We have a few slides to show you. This is Amba Bai, and it's actually a sketch made out of a very, very hazy picture, which was not available because she was born in 1902 in Chitradurga district. That is the birthplace of Amba Bai in Chitradurga district, Karnataka. And that is the picture out of which the portrait has been drawn, what you saw earlier. 1902 was her date of birth. And her schooling was nothing because she was a dropout from the 4th grade because she got married at the age of 10. No education, formal education. Then it is her guru, Tande Muddu Mohana Vitalankita Narasipura Paramapriya Subbaraya Dasa, who gave her the Haridasa Diksha when she was 28 years old. And from 29 years onwards, she had been composing till her death in 1946. Hardly 44 years she lived on the surface of this earth. And this is a letter written by her guru to her, blessing her on the occasion of her composing the Haridasa compositions for the first time. Till 1983, Amba Bai remained incognito. She remained in the minds of only some Haridasas in the mind as Amba Bai. None of her compositions were available. It was because of the assiduous efforts of Dr. Ananta Padmanabha Rao, a renowned Kannada scholar, who unearthed, explored certain very, very important aspects of her life, her contribution, and her achievements with the support of Dr. Shanta Nagaraj, renowned Kannada writer, who happens to be the niece of Amba Bai. She turned 80 just very recently, and she has thoroughly researched the works of Amba Bai, and she got her doctoral degree for an in-depth study of Mahila Haridasaru Amba Bai Ondu Adhyayana. This is her PhD thesis. And as I said earlier, Dr. Ananta Padmanabha Rao was responsible for bringing out the entire collections of Amba Bai's compositions in the form of a book in 1993. So from then onwards, there was a cassette comprising 10 compositions of hers, and then again another CD comprising another 10 compositions of her, which were brought out later on. The first one was accompanied by a book. You may see the Vithala idol image on the front page. That was her Aradhya Daiva. As I said earlier, she was widowed at the age of 12. She got married at 10 and widowed at the age of 12, when she was orphaned and widowed on the same day because of the plague pandemic snatching away both her father and her husband. She was with a shaven head later on. And her Samagra Dasa Sahitya came out in 1993, and later the other works of hers. Most importantly, Sri Ramakathamrita Kavya. Just imagine a fourth grade dropout, a widowed woman, composing a Mahakavya in 2,501 verses. Kusuma Shatpadi. Shatpadi is a very special chandas for Kannada. In Kusuma Shatpadi chandas, she composed Sri Rama Kathamrita Kavya, and she is the first, undoubtedly the first Kannada poetess. First Kannada poetess. She wrote this Kavya several decades before even Kuvempu, the Jnanapita awardee, composed Ramayana Darshanam. So that is the greatness of Amba Bai. There are certain few unpublished works of Amba Bai still remaining to see the light of the day. And lastly, we have the diary, very beautifully written in her hand. It's all trutita. we cannot print them or do anything with that except for seeing, and come to know a lot about the kind of life she led. So after she was widowed, it was a life of turmoil and tribulation, stress and distress, insults. She had to undergo such humiliation at the hands of the society, cruel society then. Just imagine, with a shaved head, she had to move around, and her life has to be one of service and sacrifice, nothing more than that. And there comes the Guru, Muddu Mohana, Vitthalankita Subbaraya, who gave her the Diksha when she was 28-year-old. 29 years onwards, she starts composing. Without any formal education and with no formal training in music, that is very important. She is a poetess of a very high caliber and a musician par excellence. According to the mother of my friend Dr. Shanta Nagaraj, who happens to be her niece, she possessed a very powerful, divine, melodious, sonorous voice, and she used to sing her compositions. She used to travel from one village to another. After she took up the Haridasa Diksha, She got a tambura also presented to her by her guru. With the tala and tamburi, which are the insignia of a true Haridasa, she went on as a bard, moving from village to village, composing poems. Where did she have the money? She didn't have any money. Somebody would ask her to compose a few songs after listening to her singing them beautifully. She would do that and they would give a few pennies, paisa, which she would use to travel to another place. There were several days when she went without food. There were several nights when she went without sleep. Life of hardship, total hardship. But what she composed amazes us. It is astounding to note that she has composed over 300, nearly 400 compositions. Very beautiful poetry, highly poetic. She uses similes, she uses metaphors, she uses hyperboles, and such rich imagination and such lilting words, musical. So that is Ambabai. You will get to know when they sing the songs. We have chosen only 7 songs as a sample because it is so vast. And she has some lengthy compositions also, narrative compositions, bringing out the Puranic stories, episodes. And some are purely devotional. And all gods. There is just one composition in praise of Ganapati, 102 on Srihari, 12 on Mahalakshmi. It goes on like that. I don't want to read the list, the statistics. A few contextual springing from the experience of her life. So that is what I am focusing on today. So her life becomes a model, like an Akka Mahadevi, like a Mirabai. She sets an example for women in distress, how to rise above that, how to surmount such hardships and find a place for their own. So it's a message. She is a role model to all people in general, and particularly women, and even among them, those in distress. How to come out of it and find a path for themselves. And the path that she found for herself was not an ordinary one. It was a path of salvation. Salvation. And through her songs. So let us now begin the journey of exploring the beauteous dimensions of her compositions with a prayer to Lord Narasimha. I may have to do some gestures here and there. I beg the pardon of all dancers and theatre persons for being very, very crude. Yet, that is only with the purpose of making Kannada language more intelligible, more comprehensible. That is the intention, that is the idea. I don't have to say much about the first composition they are going to sing. It is set to Kedara, Raga Kedara and Mishra Gati, which is very commonly found. It is always in Nade, that is Khanda Nade or Trishra Nade is very common to Haridasas because they used to move with the tala in their hand and takadimi, takita, takadimi they used to do. Taka, takita, taka, takita, 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 takita. They used to have the tala and the tambura. So, Udbhavisida Kambhadi Sri Narasimha. It is a Narasimha. All of you know the story of Prahlada Hiranyakashipu, how he was slain by Lord Narasimha emerging out of the pillar. So, very beautifully the story is portrayed, and please observe. I would like to draw your attention to the alliterations which naturally outpour, come out just spontaneously. The Dvitiya Akshara Prasa, or in some compositions there are Antya Pada Prasa, Namo or Lali or Jojo Padas. And there are Vrityanuprasas, Cheka Prasas, Yamakas, very beautifully, poetically composed verses they are. And in every song we have cut it short because for paucity of time And to keep it very crisp and brisk, they are singing only 2 or 3 stanzas in each of the compositions, though they are lengthier. First one is Udbhavisida Kambadi Sri Narasimha. Udbhavisida Bega Padma Sambhava Pita. Certain words are Sanskrit, I don't have to translate. Muddu Balakana Uddharisuvenendu. The purpose of his coming out of the was to Muddu Balakana Uddharisuve anta banda. ಎಲ್ಲಿರುವನು ಹರಿ ಎಂದು ದೈತ್ಯನು ಮಗನ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ತಂಭದಿ ತೋರು. ಶೋ ಮಿ ಹಿಯರ್ ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಪಿಲ್ಲರ್ ವೆನ್ ದ ಫಾದರ್ ಡಿಮಾಂಡೆಡ್. ಖುಲ್ಲನು ಹಿಂಸಿಸೆ ವೆನ್ ಹಿ ವಾಸ್ ಟಾರ್ಚರ್ಡ್ ದಸ್ ಬೈ ದ ಫಾದರ್. ಸರ್ವತ್ರದಿ ಶ್ರೀನಲ್ಲನಿರುವನೆಂದು ಸಾಧಿಸೆ ಭಕ್ತನು ಉದ್ಭವಿಸಿದ ಕಂಬದಿ. ಸುರರು ಜಯ ಜಯವೆನ್ನುತ್ತ ಪೊಗಳುತ್ತಲಿರೆ ನರಹರಿ ಉಗ್ರವ ತಾಳುತ್ತ. ಈವನ್ ದ ಗಾಡ್ಸ್ ಕುಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ಬ್ರಿಂಗ್ ಡೌನ್ ಹಿಸ್ ರಥ್. ದೆನ್ ಸುರರು ಬೆದರಿ ಪ್ರಹ್ಲಾದನ ಕಳುಹಲು ಕರಿಗಿರಿ ನರಹರಿ ಶಾಂತನೆನಿಸಿದ. ತಾಪವಡಗಿತು ಜಗದಲ್ಲಿ. ತಾಪವಡಗಿತು ಇನ್ several respects. The tapa or the heat of anger, not just that, the heat of the atrocious activities of the Rakshasa. Adagitu jagadali because of Varabhaktaninda. Then Shripati Lakumi Sahitali Gopala Krishna Vithala Guru Varada Pariyindali. In this way, Bhaktara Porayalu, in order to protect his bhaktas, he emerged from. And look at the force in which it has been composed. And the raga and tala, nothing much had to be done by the tunesmith, because it was ordained by the bhava of the lyric. So it takes the raga and Udbhavisida Kambadi.
Udbhavisida Kambadi, Udbhavisida Kambadi, Sri Narasimha. Udbhavisida Kambadi, Udbhavisida Bega Padma Sambhava Pita. Muddu Balakana Uddharisuvenendu ಉದ್ಭವಿಸಿದ ಕಂಬರಿ. ಶ್ರೀ ನರಸಿಂಹ ಉದ್ಭವಿಸಿದ ಕಂಬರಿ. ಎಲ್ಲಿರುವನು ಹರಿ ಎಂದು ದೈತ್ಯನು ಮಗನ.
Can you stop recording, please?
ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ತಂಭದಿ ತೋರೆಂದು ಖುಲ್ಲನು ಹಿಂಸಿಸೆ ಸರ್ವತ್ರದಿ ಶ್ರೀನಲ್ಲನಿರುವನೆಂದು ಸಾಧಿಸೆ ಭಕ್ತನು ಉದ್ಭವಿಸಿದ ಕಂಬರಿ. ಸುರರು ಜಯ ಜಯವೆನ್ನುತ ಪೊಗಳುತ್ತಲೀರೆ ನರಹರಿ ಉಗ್ರವ ತಾಳುತ್ತ. ಸುರರು ಬೆದರಿ ಪ್ರಹ್ಲಾದನ ಕಳುಹಲು ಕರಿಗಿರಿ ನರಹರಿ ಶಾಂತನೆನಿಸಿದ ಉದ್ಭವಿಸಿದ ಕಂಬರಿ. ತಾಪವಡಗಿತು ಜಗದಲ್ಲಿ, ತಾಪವಡಗಿತು ಜಗದಲ್ಲಿ ವರಭಕ್ತನಿಂದ. ಶ್ರೀಪತಿ ಲಕುಮಿ ಸಹಿತಲಿ ಗೋಪಾಲ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ವಿಠಲ ಗುರುವರದ. ಗೋಪಾಲ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ವಿಠಲ ಗುರುವರದ. ಈ ಪರಿಯಿಂದಲಿ ಭಕ್ತರ ಪೊರೆಯಲು ಉದ್ಭವ ಉದ್ಭವಿಸಿದ ಕಂಬದಿ ಶ್ರೀನಾರಸಿಂಹ ಉದ್ಭವಿಸಿದ ಕಂಬದಿ ಶ್ರೀನಾರಸಿಂಹ ಉದ್ಭವಿಸಿದ ಕಂಬದಿ.
And you should notice that it is not kamba, which is the normal word to use. She uses kamba to bring the force. Udbhavisida kambadi. Both Mahapranas she uses to bring out that ugrata of Narasimha Swarupa. And as I said earlier, her was like a vagabond moving from one place to another. And she registers all that in her diary. That has been the main source to know how her life was writ with difficulties. Hindina ಊರಿಗೆ ಹಿಂದಿರುಗುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. She could not get back to the previous town or grama, whatever she left behind. ಮುಂದಿನ ಊರಿನ ಆನಂದವ ಕಂಡಿಲ್ಲ. I don't know what is there in store for me in the next. She doesn't know. She is in a dilemma, total confusion, total uncertainty. ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದ ಊರಳು ಇರುವ ಹಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಯು ಕೆನಾಟ್ ರಿಮೇನ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಅ ಲಾಂಗ್ ಟೈಮ್. ನೋಬಡಿ ಟು ಕೇರ್ ಫಾರ್ ಯು. ನಂದ್ಯಾವ ಊರೆಂಬುದು ಅನ್ಯರಿಗಳವಲ್ಲ. ನೋ ಒನ್ ನೋಸ್ ವಿಚ್ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಈಸ್ ಮೈ ನೇಟಿವ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಆರ್ ಮೈ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ವೇರ್ ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ರಿಸೈಡ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪಿಲಿ ಆರ್ ಕಂಫರ್ಟಬ್ಲಿ. ಸಂದಿಗ್ಧವಾದಂಥ ಇದರ ಅರ್ಥಗಳನ್ನು ತಂದೆ ಮುದ್ದು ಮೋಹನರ ಬಿಂಬ ಶ್ರೀ ಸುಂದರ ಗೋಪಾಲ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ವಿಠಲ ಬಲ್ಲ. If at all there is anybody who knows what exactly is my position in this world, it is none other than Gopala Krishna Vittala. Only God knows. That's what we say. So I don't know where I belong because there is nobody to care for me. ಇತ್ತಿತ್ತ ಬಾರೆಂದು ಕರೆಯುವವರಿಲ್ಲದೆ ವ್ಯರ್ಥವಲ್ಲವೇ ಜನ್ಮವು. In despair, in frustration, in disillusionment, in disappointment, at a point of time, she feels that her janma is vyartha. I have tried to boldly translate it to Tamil. Ingeva annu ಕೂಪ್ಪಡರ್ವಾಳ ತರುಂ ಇಲ್ಲನ್ನ ವ್ಯರ್ಥಮಲ್ಲವ ಜನ್ಮಂ. There is no one to call me. No one has any regard for a widow. As you all know, it is not much better, or it is a little better, slightly better than those days. A widower has a better treatment than a widow. So that is the fact that we have to accept. ಇತ್ತಿತ್ತ ಬಾರೆಂದು ಕರೆಯುವವರಿಲ್ಲದಿರೆ ವ್ಯರ್ಥವಲ್ಲವೇ ಜನ್ಮವು. ಅತ್ತತ್ತ ಹೋಗೆಂಬ ನುಡಿಗಳ ಕೇಳಿ ಜಗದೊಳಗೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಇರಲು ಬಹುದೇ ಹರಿಯೇ. Can I survive? Can I live on? Can I continue to be here in this world when there is no one to host me or to say that I am there for you? ಆರಿಗಾರಾಗುವರೋ, and that is it. The life itself is like that. In the entire world, you do not find anybody living for anyone else. Arige aaraguvaru. There is none for anybody else. That is Swartha Prapancha. Shauri, but Prarabdha Nigadele Shauri Dariya Torano. Even Hari cannot do anything until and unless you exhaust the accumulated fruits of your sins. Prarabdha Nigadele, even Hari cannot do anything. This you should realize, she tells herself. ಈ ರೀತಿ ಅರಿತು ಹೇ ದುರ್ಮನವೇ, ಓ ಮೈಂಡ್, ವಿಕೆಡ್ ಮೈಂಡ್, ದುರ್ಮನವೇ ನರಹರಿಯ ಆರಾಧನೆಯ ಮಾಡೋ. You keep on worshipping him, chanting his name, meditating upon him. That is what is going to redeem you, to lift you. ಗೋಪಾಲ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ವಿಠಲನೆ ಗತಿ ಎಂತೆಂದು ಈ ಪರಿಯಿಂದ ಭಜಿಸು. ಶ್ರೀ ಪರಮ ಕಾರುಣ್ಯ ಗುರುಗಳಂತರ್ಯಾಮಿ ತಾಪ ಹರಿಸುವನು ಭರದಿ. So realize this, oh wretched mind. There is just one supreme soul, that is Sri Hari, who can allay your distress. So have faith in him, have trust. So this is the realization that comes to her. From then onward, she is a different person. This is perhaps when she got the Guru Karuna. And she places her Guru on such a high pedestal, great esteem. She has compositions running up to 20, 40, 50 in praise of her Guru. So that Guru Sthana in our culture, as we all know, agree, it's of a very, very high status. So that has been accorded to him by Amba Bai also. Now, this is a very pathetic song. Ittitta barendu kareyuvavarilladire vyarthavallave janmavu. So they are going to sing that.
ಇತ್ತಿತ್ತ ಬಾರೆಂದು ಕರೆಯುವವರಿಲ್ಲದಿರೆ ವ್ಯರ್ಥವಲ್ಲವೇ ಜನ್ಮವು ಅತ್ತತ್ತ ಹೋಗೆಂಬ ನುಡಿ ಕೇಳಿ ಜಗದೊಳಗೆ ಅತ್ತತ್ತ ಹೋಗೆಂಬ ನುಡಿ ಕೇಳಿ ಜಗದೊಳಗೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಇರಬಹುದೇ ಹರಿಯೇ ಇತ್ತಿತ್ತ ಬಾರೆಂದು ಕರೆಯುವವರಿಲ್ಲದಿರೆ ಆರಿಗಾರಾಗುವರೋ ಪ್ರಾರಬ್ಧ ನೀಗದಲೆ ಶೌರಿದಾರಿಯ ತೋರನು ಈ ರೀತಿ ಅರಿತು ಹೇ ದುರ್ಮನವೇ ನರಹರಿಯ ಆರಾಧನೆಯ ಮಾಡೋ ಇತ್ತಿತ್ತ ಬಾರೆಂದು ಕರೆಯುವವರಿಲ್ಲದಿರೆ ವ್ಯರ್ಥವಲ್ಲವೇ ಜನ್ಮವು
Vyarthavallave janmavu is a, in Vakyartha we say there is a Prashna and then a Siddhanta. Purva Paksha and Siddhanta. Purva Paksha poses a question and Siddhanta arrives at a conclusion. So she herself poses a question to herself and gets an answer. Uddhared atmanatmanam natmanam avasadayet. This is the Gita Vakya. One must uplift, try to uplift oneself at times of despair. You should not be dejected totally because you cannot continue in this world if you have no faith in your own self. So uddhared atmanatmanam natmanam avasadayet. And then whatever hardships that she had to encounter in life, she did not feel bitter about it. She did not carry any animosity against anybody. She didn't blame or curse anyone. But she put her foot firm on the ground and said, "You call me widow, isn't it? No, I am not one. I am a muttaide." In Kannada, muttaide, it means sumangali, the one whose husband is alive. I am a sumangali, she says. I am a suvasini. She says, how? If you ask, it's her fond imagination, a deliberate dream in which she thinks that she is the consort of none other than Sri Hari. When he has held my hand, why should I bother? I am his wife. He has accepted me as his wife. So she says, Muttaide yadena muravairi dayadi. By his own mercy, I have become a muttaide. Nityatruptanu enna karavapidi. Very, very aptly chosen word. Nityatruptanu enna karavapidi. In this world, you know, every marriage is a contract. There is something to give and take. There is some exchange, offer. But here she says, since he is a Nityatrupta, eternally contented, a very embodiment of eternal contentment, he doesn't expect anything from me. He has taken me for his wife. Nitya truptanu enna karava pidiye mutta ideyadena. And from then onwards, she moves on to describe the paraphernalia of a grand wedding, all in metaphors. So the Guru Karuna becomes her, Guru Kotta Ankita becomes her Mangalya, and Guru Vitta Nama becomes a Tilaka, Guru Karuna becomes a Kavacha, an armor, coat of armor, or a blouse, whatever you call. And Guru Preeti is the silken robes that she is wearing at the wedding. And who are her relatives? None other than Brahmadi Devas. Oh, beautiful. Brahmadi Devas. Hridayave Lagna Mantapa. Because it is her imagination. Manorathanam agatirna vidyate, says Kalidasa in Kumara Sambhava. Manorathanam agatihi na vidyate. There is nothing beyond the realm of imagination. If somebody dreams of something, you cannot question it. You cannot put restrictions on somebody's imagination. I can imagine anything. She is doing that. It need not be practical at all. Hridayave Lagna Mantapa, Divya Shrangara, Paduma Bhava, that is Padma Bhava is Brahma, Surare Nerediha Bandhu Balaga, Vadagi Baha Sujnana. How are you going to manage your family? Because you are the consort of none other than the Vishwavidhata, that is Vishnu. She says that Sujnana is samsara salakarane. Gives me the knowledge helps me manage my family. Sujnana. And Madana Pitan edurige irisi dhare eredaru. With a tulasi dala, she has been offered. Her hand has been offered to Lord Vishnu, making her sit in front of him. What a beautiful imagery of a wedding, which perhaps she would never remember what happened at her wedding. Nothing. She was a girl of 10 years. And she didn't know what dampatya was, what conjugal love was, what wedding was. And such a lady she imagines. And perhaps, as I imagine, she was not allowed to take an active part in any wedding because it was considered as inauspicious to have them there. Anyway, she says, Muttaidayadena Muravairi Dayadi, but no bitterness. It is her stand, it is her conviction with which she marches ahead. So she insulates herself from the insults of the public with Krishna Bhakti. So this is Muttaidayadena. It is a celebration. So the song is also in that celebrative mood.
ಮುತ್ತೈದೆಯಾದೆನ ಮುರವೈರಿದಯದಿ ನಿತ್ಯ ತೃಪ್ತನು ಎನ್ನ ಕರವ ಪಿಡಿಯೇ ಮುತ್ತೈದೆಯಾದೆನ ಮುರವೈರಿದಯದಿ ನಿತ್ಯ ತೃಪ್ತನು ಎನ್ನ ಕರವ ಪಿಡಿಯೇ ಗುರು ಕೊಟ್ಟ ಅಂಕಿತವೇ ಮಾಂಗಲ್ಯವಾಯ್ತೆನಗೆ ಗುರು ಬಿಟ್ಟ ನಾಮವೇ ತಿಲಕವಾಯ್ತು ಗುರು ಕರುಣವೆಂಬ ಕವಚವ ತೊಟ್ಟೆ ಹರುಷದಲ್ಲಿ ಗುರು ಪ್ರೀತಿ ಎಂಬ ವಸನವನುಟ್ಟು ಮುದದಿ ಮುತ್ತೈದೆಯಾದೆನ ಮುರವೈರಿದಯದಿ ನಿತ್ಯ ತೃಪ್ತನು ಎನ್ನ ಕರವ ಪಿಡಿಯೇ ಹೃದಯವೇ ಲಗ್ನ ಮಂಟಪ ದಿವ್ಯ ಶೃಂಗಾರ ಪದುಮ ಭವ ಸೂರರೆ ನೆರೆದಿಹ ಬಂಧು ಬಳಗ ಒದಗಿ ಬಹ ಸುಜ್ಞಾನ ಸಂಸಾರ ಸಲಕರಣೆ ಮದನ ಪಿತನೆ ದೂರಿಗೆ ಇರಿಸಿ ಧಾರೆಯ ನೆರೆಯೇ ಮುತ್ತೈದೆಯಾದೆನ ಮುರವೈರಿದಯದಿ ನಿತ್ಯ ತೃಪ್ತನು ಎನ್ನ ಕರವ ಪಿಡಿಯೇ ಎನ್ನ ಕರವ ಪಿಡಿಯೇ ಎನ್ನ ಕರವ ಪಿಡಿಯೇ.
Can't help our eyes becoming wet. Moving, highly moving. And in this journey, what supported her, what gave her the maximum moral support was the tamburi. The tamburi, It's a eulogistic description of the tamburi, a divine tamburi that was gifted to her by her guru himself, which he had already shown in her dreams. First, he showed it in her dreams and then presented it to her, and that she carried through her life with the tala and tamburi. And we all know tamburi meetidava bhavabdi datidava is Purandaradasa's. Tamburi is symbolic of elevation through music. So this proves amply our aim or our concept of musical pursuit. So our music is not meant for vilasa. It is meant for vikasa. It is not meant for just vinoda. It is meant for vijnana, vishesha jnana. So that is the purpose of our music. That is the purpose of our all fine arts. So that is also indicated through this song. Hari Guru Karunadi Dorakitu Denagi Parama Pavana Tamburi. She is ecstatically delighted. She finally says, I don't know how to describe my blissful experience. What do I say? How do I describe to you? Because anybody's experience is very personal. However much you say, sugar is very sweet. What is sweetness? You have to have it in your mouth only to feel the sweetness, to realize the sweetness. So when she says it is indescribable, it is the Brahma Tattva which is equally indescribable. Hari Guru Karunadi Dorakidu Denagi Parama Pavana Tamburi, Pavana, sacred. Narahari Bhaktaru, that is her Guru. Wali Denagittaru, he was so kind enough and he, with great affection, he has gifted this to me. Sulalita Nadada Tamburi. Tande Muddu Mohanaru Swapnadi Tandu Toridantha Tamburi. Nanda Kanda, that is Krishna, Guna Stuti se, in order that I sing in praise of Nanda Kanda. Nanda Kandana, Ananda Kandana. Very beautiful. Ananda Kandana Gunastuti se, Anandava Toruva Tamburi. And Balu Balu Pariyali Haridasattvake Baruvante Madida Tamburi. Cheladindali Shri Hari Tan Hidisida Volumeyindali Tamburi. Betta Dodeya, that is Vishnu. Tan ishtu hatava madi. He was so importuning that I must get this. Kotte kottanu tamburi. However much I might resist, he wouldn't allow me to move away from Haridasatva. Yeshtu nachike pattaru bidadele kashta kaleyalu itta tamburi. Have this, you will be relieved of all your distress. With this message, it was handed over to me by none other than Krishna. So, ever grateful to that Guru. See how all her padu in Kannada becomes a hadu. Everything gets transformed into music. The same thing is said of Valmiki. Shoka shlokatvam agataha. When he curses the hunter who kills one of the loving birds, Krauncha Pakshi, his shoka, the shloka that emerges from his mouth, is nothing but a result of the shoka. The shoka becomes shloka and he composes Ramayana in 24,000 verses. Look at the Hari Karuna. So here again, because of that Hari Karuna and the Tamburi, she is the blessed one. Kashta Kalaya Litta Tamburi. And very rarely you come across this kind of a song in praise of Tamburi, Tamburi, Tamburi. It gets repeated. And we get lost in the nada of Tamburi.
Hari Guru Karunadi Dorakidu Denagi Parama Pavana Tamburi. Hari Guru Karunadi Dorakidu Denagi Parama Pavana Tamburi. Narahari Bhaktaru Voli Denagittaru Sulalita ತಂಬೂರಿ ಹರಿ ಗುರು ಕರುಣದಿ ದೊರಕಿದುದೆನಗೀ ಪರಮ ಪಾವನ ತಂಬೂರಿ. ತಂದೆ ಮುದ್ದು ಮೋಹನರು ಸ್ವಪ್ನದಿ ತಂದು ತೋರಿದಂಥ ತಂಬೂರಿ ನಂದ ಕಂದನ ಗುಣ ಸ್ತುತಿಸೆ ಆನಂದ ಕಂದನ ಗುಣ ಸ್ತುತಿಸೆ ಆನಂದವ ತೋರುವ ತಂಬೂರಿ ಹರಿ ಗುರು ಕರುಣದಿ ದೊರಕಿದುದೆನಗೀ ಪರಮ ಪಾವನ ತಂಬೂರಿ. ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೋಯ್ತು ಭವಕಟ್ಟು ಎಂದೆನ್ನನು,
ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೋಯಿತು ಭವಕಟ್ಟು ಇಂದೆನ್ನನು. I am free from the shackles of this samsara. ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೋಯಿತು. It has left me. No bondings. Nothing binds me to this mundane life. What did it do for me? The greatest favor. ಮುಟ್ಟಿಸಿತ್ ಹರಿಪುರ. ಹರಿಪುರ ಇಸ್ ವೈಕುಂಠ. ಮುಟ್ಟಿಸಿತ್ ಹರಿಪುರ ತಂಬೂರಿ. ಎಷ್ಟು ಹೇಳಲಿ, ಇನ್ನೆಷ್ಟು ಹೇಳಲಿ. What do I say? How do I describe? I am now in the highest status. I have reached Vaikuntha because of Tamburi.
ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೋಯ್ತು ಭವಕಟ್ಟು ಇಲ್ದೆನ್ನನು, ಮುಟ್ಟಿಸಿ ಹರಿಪುರ ತಂಬೂರಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಹೇಳಲಿ, ಇನ್ನೆಷ್ಟು ಹೇಳಲಿ. ಶ್ರೀನಿಧಿ ಗೋಪಾಲ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ವಿಠಲನಿತ ತಂಬೂರಿ ಹರಿ ಗುರು ಕರುಣದಿ ಹರಿ ಗುರು ಕರುಣದಿ ಹರಿ ಗುರು ಕರುಣದಿ ದೊರಕಿದುದೆನ ಈ ಪರಮ ಪಾವನ ತಂಬೂರಿ.
I don't know. I have 3 more songs. I don't think I can do with all that. What to do? 10 more minutes. Yeah, I'll try to fit in. Because at times she becomes so mystic and so mystical and so cryptic. You have to have a lexicon with you. And not just that, you have to know the principles of Madhva Mata. She was born into a very, very orthodox family of Madhvas. And she had assimilated in herself the entire tattvas of Madhva Mata. So she speaks in riddles and puzzles, and she plays on certain words and sometimes the number. Muru, muru, muru. She was taken to Tirupati once, and till then, Tirupati Venkateramana used to be wearing an urdhva pundra only. The Trinama came later. So when she went there, it was just then that it was introduced. The Trinama was introduced. So she asks him jovially, ಮೂರು ನಾಮಗಳ ಧರಿಸಿರುವ ಕಾರಣವೇನು? ಸಾರಿ ಪೇಳೆಲೋ ಈಗಲೇ. Tell me, why are you wearing 3 namas? ಶ್ರೀರಮಾಪತಿ ಶ್ರೀನಿವಾಸ ವೆಂಕಟರಮಣ, ಯಾರು ಇಟ್ಟರೋ ನಿನಗೆ ಈ 3 ನಾಮ? ಇನ್ ಕನ್ನಡ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಯಾರೋ ಪೆಂಗ್ನಾಮ ಹಾಕಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ನಾಮಪೋಟ that is cheated, deceived. Somehow somebody has made you have this on your forehead. But immediately she gives a very beautiful meaning using the word ಮೂರು, that is 3. 3 ರೂಪನು ನಾನು, ತ್ರಿಮೂರ್ತಿ ರೂಪ. 3 ಲೋಕಗಳಿಹವು, ಸ್ವರ್ಗ ಮರ್ತ್ಯ ಪಾತಾಳ. 3 ಮಾಳ್ಪೆನು ಜಗವ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಪಾಸ್ಟ್, ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಫ್ಯೂಚರ್. 3 ಗುಣದಿ, ಸತ್ವ ರಜಸ್ತಮಸ್. 3 ತಾಪವ ಗೆದ್ದು, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮಿಕ, ಆದಿದೈವಿಕ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಆದಿಭೌತಿಕ ತಾಪತ್ರಯ, ಅದನ್ನು ಗೆದ್ದು. 3 ಮಾರ್ಗದಿ ಭಜಿಸೆ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಯೇನ ವಾಚ ಮನಸ. ಪಾರು ಮಾಡುವೆನೆಂದು ತೋರುವ ಸೊಬಗೋ. Is it the beauty of displaying, showing to the world that you are doing this, you are wearing the Trinama for this purpose? What a beautiful. And this has a very special background also, because my friend Shanta Nagraj's mother, who happens to be her sister, she had the fortune of listening to Ambabai singing this song in Mohana, in Mishragati. Just one line is enough. First part. Just.
ನಾಮಗಳ ಧರಿಸಿರುವ ಕಾರಣವೇನೋ ಸಾರಿ ಪೇಳಲು ಈಗಲೇ ಶ್ರೀರಮಾಪತಿ ಶ್ರೀನಿವಾಸ ವೆಂಕಟರಮಣ ಯಾರು ಇಟ್ಟರೋ ನಿನಗೆ ಈ ಮೂರು ನಾಮಗಳ
Enough, there is want of time. Okay? Then, as I said, she uses symbolism. Next song is all about this Janma, which is conceived as a Hachada. Hachada in Kannada means a blanket. She says, Hachada Ogeya Bekamma. See, whatever the women of those days, or even to this day also, despite washing machines, they thrash, they wash the clothes. So she says, Ogeya Beku. This Janma itself is the Hachada, which has collected lot of dirt. She says, Hachada Ogeya Bekamma, Bahu Kole Muchchikondihudu Nodamma. ಸ್ವಚ್ಛವ ಮಾಡುತ್ತಾ ಅಚ್ಯುತನಂಗ್ರಿಗೆ ಬೆಚ್ಚಗೆ ಹೊದಿಸಲು ಇಚ್ಛೆಯ ಮಾಡುತ್ತಾ. ಲುಕ್ ಎಟ್ ದ ಅಲಿಟ್ರೇಷನ್, ಬ್ಯೂಟಿಫುಲ್ ವೃತ್ತಿಯನುಪ್ರಾಸ. ಸ್ವಚ್ಛವ ಮಾಡುತ್ತಾ, ಮೇಕ್ ಇಟ್ ವೆರಿ ವೆರಿ ಕ್ಲೀನ್. ಅಚ್ಯುತನ ಅಂಗ್ರಿಗೆ ಬೆಚ್ಚಗೆ ಹೊದಿಸಲು. ಅಚ್ಯುತನ ಅಂಗ್ರಿ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಹಿಸ್ ಪಾದ, ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಮೇಕ್ ಇಟ್ ಡಿಸರ್ವಿಂಗ್ ಟು ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಡೆಕೋರೇಟ್ ಆರ್ ಮೇಕ್ ದಿ ಫೀಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಲಾರ್ಡ್ ವಾರ್ಮ್. ಬೆಚ್ಚಗೆ ಹೊದಿಸಲು ಇಚ್ಛೆಯ. 7 ಪದರವಿಹುದು, 7 ಜನ್ಮಸ್. 7 ಪದರವಿಹುದು, ಬಹುಕಾಲದಿಂ ಬಾಳುತ್ತ ಬಂದಿಹುದು. ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದೇರ್ ವಿತ್ ಅಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಎ ವೆರಿ ವೆರಿ ಲಾಂಗ್ ಟೈಮ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಕಾಲ ಕಾಲಕ್ಕೆ ಬದಲಾವಣೆ ಹೊಂದುತ್ತಾ ಬೀಳು ತೇಳುತ್ತಾ ಬೆನ್ನ ಬಿಡದಿಹುದಿಹುದು. ಸೊ I mean, there is no way of getting out of this Janma until and unless you make up your mind to purify this Janma so that you can offer it at the feet of the Lord. That is the idea. She said, then to wash this Hachada, you need pure water. Nirmalodaka vyavude idanogeyelu. And the stone slab, sammata shile yavude. Beautiful. Bommanayana. Oh, then Bommanaya is Vishnu. His Sujnana Sukoladolu. It's a lake of Sujnana. Then ಒಮ್ಮನಸಿನೊಳೊಮ್ಮೆ ಒದ್ದೆ ಮಾಡುತ್ತಲಿನ್ನು ಹಚ್ಚಡ ಒಗೆಯಬೇಕಮ್ಮ. ಡಿಪ್ ಇಟ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಕೊಳ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೆನ್ ನೂತನ ಹಚ್ಚಡವು. ದಿಸ್ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಜನ್ಮ ಈಸ್ ದ ಲೇಟೆಸ್ಟ್, ನೂತನ, ಫ್ರೆಶ್ ಹಚ್ಚಡವು. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ವಿ ಡೋಂಟ್ ನೋ ಹೌ ಇಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಕಮ್ ಟು ಮೀ. ನೂಲುಗಾರ ಜಾತಿಯ ನರಿಯ, ದ ವೀವರ್, ಹೂ ದ ವೀವರ್ ಈಸ್ ವಿ ಡೋಂಟ್ ನೋ. ನೂಲುಗಾರ ಜಾತಿಯ ನರಿಯವೆವು ಪ್ರೀತಿಯೊಳ್ ಗೋಪಾಲಕೃಷ್ಣ ವಿಠಲ ಕೊಟ್ಟ ಖ್ಯಾತಿಯೊಳ್ ಬಾಳಿ ಶ್ರೀನಾಥನ್ನ ಪೊಂದುತ ಹಚ್ಚಡ ಒಗೆಯಬೇಕು. ಮೈ ಡಿಸೈಪಲ್ Maruti Prasad has sung. I think you have to play only first two stanzas. Which one? Khyatiyol Bali. Khyatiyol Bali. So you make a name for yourself being an ardent devotee of Vishnu. That is the Khyati fame you have to earn. Khyati is fame. Khyatiyol Baluta. Your life itself should be an example of a bhakta. Baluta Srinathanna Ponduvo. Hachada Ogeyabekam. So your intention should be to serve the Lord, Supreme Lord, none else, nothing else. Quick.
ಅಚ್ಚಡವಗೆಯವೆಗಮ್ಮ ಅಚ್ಚಡವಗೆಯವೆಗಮ್ಮ ಬಹುಕೊಳೆ ಬುಚ್ಚಿಕೊಂಡಿರುವುದು ನೋಡಮ್ಮ ಅಚ್ಚಡವಗೆಯವೆಗಮ್ಮ ಬಹುಕೊಳೆ ಬುಚ್ಚಿಕೊಳ್ಳ ಸ್ವಚ್ಛವ ಮಾಡುತ್ತ ಅಚ್ಚುತನಂಗ್ರಿಗೆ ಬೆಚ್ಚಗೆ ಹೊರಿಸಲು ಇಚ್ಛೆಯ ಮಾಡುತ್ತ ಅಚ್ಚಡ ಬಗೆಯಬೇಕಮ್ಮ. ಸ್ವಚ್ಛವ ಮಾಡುತ್ತ ಅಚ್ಚುತನಂಗ್ರಿಗೆ ಬೆಚ್ಚಗೆ ಹೊರಿಸಲು ಇಚ್ಛೆಯ ಮಾಡುತ್ತ ಅಚ್ಚಡ ಬಗೆಯಬೇಕಮ್ಮ. ಬಹು
Can't help. It's a 3-stanza song. Anyway, I have 2 more very interesting ones. I don't want to skip them. Very rarely you come across songs in praise of rivers. She has 4 songs in praise of rivers. And one of them is Tunge Mangala Tarange, Karunantarange, Ranganathana Padabhringe. Look at the kind of words she uses. My goodness. An illiterate almost, like Angaja Pitana Angadi Udbhave. We all know the story how she was born out of the toe of the Supreme Lord. Angaja Pitana Angadi Udbhave. Mangalangi Bhavabhaya Harise. Angane Yannantarangadi Haripadava Torise Shringe Shubhange. So beautiful. And we are going to sing the last, from the last charana, they are coming to the Pallavi. The last charana, so the first 2 charanas give her origin and such details. The last charana gives her course of flowing. It's a topographical description. It's a Google map. Google map given by her. How she flows from Shivamogga. Harana Pesarina Puradali Haridu Bandu. Varashri Kudali Sthaladali Bharadi Bhadraya Kudi. She becomes Tunga Bhadra when there is a confluence between Tunga and Bhadra. And then circumambulating Harihara Kshetra, en route Mantralaya, she finally joins the Bay of Bengal. So that's it. Sing.
ಹರನ ಪೆಸರಿನ ಪುರದಲ್ಲಿ ಹರಿದು ಬಂದು ವರಶ್ರೀ ಕೂಡಲಿ ಸ್ಥಳದಲ್ಲಿ ಭರದಿ ಭದ್ರೆಯ ಕೂಡಿ ಪರಿದಲ್ಲಿಂದಲಿ ಭರದಿ ಭದ್ರೆಯ ಕೂಡಿ ಪರಿದಲ್ಲಿಂದಲಿ ಹರಿಹರ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರವ ಬಳಸಿ ಮಂತ್ರಾಲಯ ಪುರ ಮಾರ್ಗದಿ ಸಾಗರವರೆ ಸೇರಿ ಗೋಪಾಲ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ವಿಠಲನ ಧ್ಯಾನೀಪ ತುಂಗೆ ಮಂಗಳ ತರಂಗೆ ತುಂಗೆ ಮಂಗಳ ತರಂಗೆ ಕರುಣಾಂತರಂಗೆ ರಂಗನಾಥನ ಪದಭೃಂಗೆ ತುಂಗೆ ಮಂಗಳ ತರಂಗೆ ತುಂಗೆ ಮಂಗಳ ತರಂಗೆ
We have a very, very simple tuning for this presentation. It can have a lot of scope for improvisation if you take it up for a concert. That is there. Because we want to highlight the meaning, the import of the meaning. The last composition for the day will be this. I wanted to underscore because several of her compositions fall under different nades automatically. In some, you can use the same Sahitya for different nades. So that is one example we have chosen for the Mangala Kriti. And one word about her very beautiful poetic ability. She is a poetess of the highest order, and she uses several very peculiar words which are not used by others. For Hiranyaksha, she uses Kanaka Nayana. And for Agni, she uses Vata Sakha. Anilanala Sanyoga. Vata Sakha. And Kadala Sute Pati. Kadala Sute Pati. Srihari. Kadala Sute Pati. Okay. The last one in 3 nades. Four, like Chaturashra, it starts with Chaturashra and then move on to Khanda, then Trishra, then finally Mishra. Come back to Chaturashra.
ಮಂಗಳ ಪಂಡರಿ ವಾಸನಿಗೆ ಜಯ ಮಂಗಳ ಇಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ನಿಲಯನಿಗೆ ಮಂಗಳ ಪಂಡರಿ ವಾಸನಿಗೆ ಜಯ ಮಂಗಳ ಇಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ನಿಲಯನಿಗೆ ಗೋಕುಲ ವಾಸಗೆ ಆಕಳ ಪಾಲಗೆ ಲೋಕಲೋಕಗಳನ್ನು ಪೊರೆವನಿಗೆ ಪಾಕಶಾಸನ ವಂದ್ಯ ರುಕ್ಮಿಣಿ ರಮಣಗೆ ಲೋಕಮೋಹನ ಪಾಂಡುರಂಗನಿಗೆ ಪಾಂಡವ ಪಾಲಕ ಪುಂಡರೀಕನಿಗೊಲಿದು ಪಂಡರಿ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರದಿ ನೆಲೆಸಿದಗೆ ತಂಡದ ಭಕ್ತ ಮಂಡೆ ಸೋಗಿಸಿಕೊಂಬ ಪುಂಡರೀಕ ಪಾದಯುಗಳನಿಗೆ ಕಟಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕರವಿಟ್ಟು ಕೈಲಿ ಶಂಖವ ಪಿಡಿದು ನಟನೆಗೈಯುವ ವೇಷಧಾರಕಗೆ ತಟಿನಿ ಚಂದ್ರ ಭಾಗೆ ತೀರದಿ ಮೆರೆಯುವ ವಟುರೂಪಿ ಗೋಪಾಲ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ವಿಠ್ಠಲಗೆ ಮಂಗಳ ಪಂಡರಿ ವಾಸನಿಗೆ ಜಯ ಮಂಗಳ ಇಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ನಿಲಯನಿಗೆ ಜಯ ಮಂಗಳ ಇಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ನಿಲಯನಿಗೆ ಜಯ ಮಂಗಳ ಇಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ನಿಲಯನಿಗೆ.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I have no words. It's a wonderful opportunity for us to remember a great soul. And my only desire is that her compositions should become more and more popular among musicians like us. And we should emulate her example as a woman of grit and determination who carried out her journey in the path of salvation to success. She passed away in the year 1946 by accident. That is, accident in the sense she slipped and got drowned in the river that she worshipped. Thank you so much. I am beholden to the Academy and the elite audience here for your constant support and encouragement. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Sathyavati. We should be thanking you because it was such an elevating morning, and I think there were several wet eyes as the presentation progressed because it was such a moving experience to travel along with you on the life of Amba Bai.
All credits go to Amba Bai. Any blemishes? My own.
I forgot to make a note of the students. Could you tell?
That is Ashwini Satish. One is Ashwini Satish. Other is Lavanya K. Both are performing artists.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Members of the experts committee, Dr. Rama Kausalya.
A moving, at the same time, very powerful presentation. Is the music original one or composed later? Music of the compositions.
Pardon? All are in her own hand. All compositions are in her own hand.
No, tune, music. Music setting.
Very humbly, I would supplicate that I have tuned all of them.
Oh, very powerful. You are reminded of Tyagaraja, Kanaka Kasipu.
Yeah, Kanaka.
And one more thing, I am told that there were many Haridasis in Karnataka.
Yes, there are. There were actually Harappana Halli Bhimava, Helavanakatte Giriyamma, and one more, Galagaliyava, they all preceded her. But none have this kind of poetic ability. I can say it with all confidence. And regarding tuning, my students also have helped me in doing that. I have to acknowledge their help. So, I mean, in all, some 20 of them are there.
They look like the original ones. Very aptly tuned. Thank you very much for this presentation.
Thank you, madam. Blessed.
Sangeetakala Acharya, Dr. Rita Rajan.
Namaskaram. Rombo, you took us to a different world. Rombo, we were all so moved. அதுலேருந்து வெளியில் வரத்துக்கு கொஞ்ச நாடி ஆச்சு. And you said she never stayed in any place. She was so like Narada, the wandering minstrel.
Yeah.
She was also moving from one place to another. That's a real blessing because Narada took it as a blessing. அப்புறமா the second song பண்ணால, the second song is sang. Now what is the raga?
Rageshri.
Okay.
I wanted to tell you it can be adapted to any genre of music like folk, like I mean devotional, regular devotional, or Hindustani ragas can also be.
I was a bit doubtful whether it was Malagunji.
Rageshri, it was Rageshri.
And then the third song வந்து நாதனாமக்ரியா அந்த மாதிரி டியூன்ஸ் இருக்கு இல்லையா, தாசனமாணி அந்த மாதிரி. ஸோ ஈவன் இந்த நந்தவனத்தில் ஒரு ஆண்டி, இது எல்லாமே தீஸ் ஆர் ஆல் காமன் டியூன்ஸ் இன் நாதனாமக்ரியம். நந்தவனத்தில் ஒரு ஆண்டி வி சிங் இன் தமிழ், அ ஃபோக் சாங். So I think it was quite a common varnamentu or tune.
There is a Pratimadhyama there. It's not a Nadanamakriya. Ilya?
Pratimadhyama irukalla.
Okay. Yeah. Nadanamakriya. Correct. Yes, what you said was right, madam.
Okay. Then regarding the river.
Yes. Tunge, Mangalatarangi.
Tunge. Of course, they say Dikshidhar has composed Gange Mampahi.
Yes, very rarely, that's what I said.
Tyagaraja Muri Pemu.
Yes.
Madhimathilla.
Yes. Udina Kaveri.
Even Ilongovadigal could have Vadi Nadandai Kaveri.
But not an exclusive song.
No. But on this, I mean, at length describing the course of the river.
Certainly.
So that was the practice to worship the rivers as female goddesses. Thank you.
Thank you for your inputs, madam. Thank you so much.
Dr. Sumati Meenakshi Krishnan.
Namaskaram.
Namaskaram.
You highlighted beautifully how a woman can stand and make a life for herself no matter what the odds. Coming back to what Dr. Rita said, it's about the river. தியாகராஜா வந்து சாரி வெடலினான்னு ஒரு அசாவேரி கிருத்தி பண்ணியிருக்காரு. அதில் என்ன பியூட்டிஃபுல்னா அந்த டொப்போகிராஃபி. ஃபஸ்ட்டு அவள் ರಂಗನಾಥாவை பார்த்துட்டு her favorite god, then she goes to மூடு ரெண்டு நாத்துன பஞ்சநதீஸ்வரருக்கு அப்புறம் போகிறாருன்னு அதுலேயே you can understand the course of the river. So that is something beautiful and poetic, and it's all about the Kaveri. Sometimes she's gentle, sometimes she's roaring. So it's a description of the river entirely. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the complimentary details.
The presentation also reminded me very strongly of last year's presentation by Professor Kanchana Natarajan, assisted by Vidushi, Nisha Rajagopal, where they presented the life of Shengota Akka Mahadevi. Not Akka Mahadevi, Aude Akkal of Shengota, which is an entirely, it appears to have been a parallel life of this. Because once again abandoned at a very early age, widowhood. And then Sridhara, of course she was a little earlier, so she ascribes her music to Sridhara Venkatesa Ayyawal of Thiruvisanallur. And the compositions are all about contemporary observations on life, right from menstruation to marriage to the mystical experience of being wedded, and then salvation, and making fun of societal behavior It is, and I was also strongly reminded of that wedding song of Varanamayiram. The entire Nachiyar Tirumozhi, that set of 10 verses describes a wedding that probably did not happen. It was imagined, there's a lot of parallel between these great
Correct.
women
Certainly,
saints,
certainly.
and their lives seem to have been of extraordinary difficulty. And I think your presentation was simply outstanding. Thank you very much today. I would now like to request Sangeeta Kalanidhi Thiruvarur Sri Bhaktavatsalam for his comments and summing up.
Namaskaram, really wonderful presentation. அவெல்லாம் பாடுறத ஆஸ் ஏ லய வித்வான்கிறது வாட் ஐ ஃபெல்ட். அந்த காலப்பிரமாணம் எக்ஸலண்ட் காலப்பிரமாணம், வேரியஸ் நடைகள் அந்த இதில் எனக்கே ஒரு ரொம்ப இது ஒரு 2.5 மணி நேரம் கச்சேரியை வச்சா அருமையாக வாசிக்கலாமே, எங்களுக்கு அப்படியே கை ஊறுச்சு எனக்கு வாசிக்கிறது போல். ஆஸ் ஏ லய வித்வான்கள்லாம் வந்திருக்கா. சாகித்யங்கள் ஒரு பக்கம் இருந்தாலும் அது நீங்கள் உங்களுடைய ப்ரெசன்டேஷனில் எங்கள் எல்லாரையும் அழ வச்சு கொடுத்து கடவுளை பார்க்குற மாதிரியே இருந்தது. மோர் ஓவர் அவள் 2 பேரும் அப்படி பாடினான். எக்ஸலண்ட் சிங்கிங். மோர் ஓவர் அந்த சதுர்சுரத்தில் யூ ஹேவ் டு ஸ்டார்ட் வித் சதுசுரம் அண்ட் கண்டம், திசுரம், மிஸ்ரம் 4 நடிகசில் பாடினது. கதிபேதங்கிற மாதிரி ரொம்ப அழகாக பண்ணேன். அந்த மிஸ்ரத்துலேருந்து மறுபடியும் எகைன் சௌசுரம் வந்த அழகு எக்ஸலண்ட்டாக இருந்தது. அது அப்படியே அது ராஜநடைன்னு சொல்லலாம். அப்படி அந்த அழகு அதுலேருந்து அந்த சௌசுரம், கண்டம், திசுரம், மிஸ்ரம், அந்த மிஸ்ரத்தில் வந்துவிட்டு ஆசையை சௌசுரம் உட்கார்றதே ரொம்ப சிரமமான விஷயம். ரொம்ப காலப்புறமான சுத்தம் இருக்கணும், மைண்டு கிளியராக இருக்கணும், எல்லாமே இருக்கணும். இட்ஸ் எக்ஸலண்ட் ப்ரெசன்டேஷன், நோ டவுட் ஆல். இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு கற்றது கைமணலோ கல்லாத உலகலுன்னு சொல்லுவாள். நிஜமாக இந்த மாதிரி ஒவ்வொரு தடவையும் இந்த மாதிரி எங்களுக்கு ஒரு ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டி கொடுக்குறது மியூசிக் அகாடமி முதல்ல தேங்க் பண்ணணும். ரேர் இந்த மாதிரி விஷயங்களை நாங்கள் ஏதோ என்னை பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் ஏதோ கச்சேரி வாசிச்சுட்டு இருக்கோம், இல்லை போயின்னு இருக்கோம், எவ்வளோதோ கீர்த்தனைகளை வாசிக்கிறோம். இந்த மாதிரிலாம் ஒரு விஷயங்கள் இருக்குங்கிறது இந்த சந்தர்ப்பத்தில் எங்களுக்கு தெரிஞ்சுக்கிறதுக்காக தான் நாங்கள் வி ஹேவ் டு தேங்க் மியூசிக் அகாடமி தேங்க் பண்ணியே ஆகணும். ரொம்ப சந்தோஷம். தேங்க்யூ யுவர் ப்ரெசன்டேஷன்மா. தேங்க்யூ, வெரி கைண்ட் ஆஃப் யூ. நமஸ்கார்.
Thank you all. We'll be drawing the curtains briefly to prepare the stage for the second lecture demonstration of this morning. Kindly bear with us.